damn, it's so bloody hot. Why did I decide to film this on the hottest day of the year? Holy moly. Lighting is good today, and that's what we're aiming for, even though my face looks like it's so overexposed. Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rita and I like anything bookish and Genshin Impact related. I also have ADHD, which makes liking things nonchalantly absolutely impossible. We are currently at the end of June and it is time for my June wrap up and July TBR picks. I actually had a really weird reading June because I actually read one book more than I anticipated. I actually missed out 2 books from my June TBR jar pick video, so I kind of did a little bit of mood reading. I think I was kind of over ambitious for sure in some of the picks, but anyhow, we are here. We are at the end of June. We're gonna wrap up what I've read and then we're going to move into what I'm going to be picking for July. Who in their right mind actually made it such a hot day? Anyway, grab your drinks. A cold cola never hurt anyone. But yeah, halfway through June I was actually at a download festival, hence my lovely Mary Wyatt top that I got after the festival. I was so lucky to get a couple of things from their website after the collaboration went online. Love this top, super cute, obsessed with it. I actually read quite a bit when I was at Download Festival that I didn't expect I would read a lot, but I actually did read quite a bit. I'm going to go through all my books in no particular order, but since we are talking about Download Festival, I actually read the Jasad Air over my Download Festival trip. So I did audiobook most of this because I use my Spotify premium audiobook hours. I think on the first day I audiobooked about 100 pages worth of this. Oh my god. I absolutely loved it. This is like a Egyptian inspired, lots of politics, really well done enemies to lovers book. Like if you want a really good enemies to lovers and enemies to lovers done right, this for sure. The only thing I really struggled with, I don't know if it's my ADHD or what, I really struggled to get into this book. I was kind of lost in the plot for the first like 7 chapters, but once I got into the swing of things, and audiobook really helped with this, I actually got really into the story. I did not bring the actual physical copy with me to Download Festival. I actually had it on my Kindle, so I was reading a little bit in between bands, and I think I managed to get through about 60% of the book, which was really impressive considering how many bands I had to see over the course of the 4 or 5 days that was technically a Download Festival. I did not camp, so I did drive and audiobook. I don't know how to explain it. Something mundane and boring like driving. If I don't do my hobbies and if I'm just wasting time, then I get really upset about it. So audiobooks really help me stay focused and actually keep on top of my TBR. I did write a review for this on my Goodreads, but I usually post my reviews on my Instagram stories once I finish a book, so please go and follow me on my Instagram. What did I read next? I know this was in no particular order, but still, like, I don't know what I read next. Let's circle back to the Kindle, because I found a book. I needed like a palate cleanser book because I was reading a lot of fantasy and a lot of fantasy romance. So I was just like, I need something that's like quick, easy to digest, little plot, lots of spice, like lots and lots of spice, just to keep myself happy. There's so many books on this Kindle that it's actually insane, because what usually happens is I'll get the physical copy of the book and then I need to go away somewhere or I want to read at night in my bed, and then I just end up downloading the Kindle version of the book so I can get comfy and read everything in bed. Oh my god, that bird just scared me. I have a pet bird, but so I don't know why the hell I was so scared about like a bird just flying on top of my roof. Smut pick for this month, I read All Your Bloody Lies by M.L. Burns. This was incredible. I devoured this in 2 days. Like, I'm not a fast reader by any means. I do devour books, but I average about 60 pages an hour. Got me hooked. The spice in this? 5 stars. Check your trigger warnings, because some bits were kind of hard to read for me personally, but I was still like, at some points I was just like, I shouldn't really enjoy reading this, but why does it turn me on so much? So yeah, this was great. Oh my god, I've already forgotten what it was about. It is a fantasy romance, but it's set in like an urban city with like phones, etc. So it is set in modern times with like vampires, shifters, and our main female character is a succubus. Our main character gets unalived at the start of the book, and then she turns into a succubus. From what I gathered, I could be totally wrong, but like my ADHD brain, like I probably need to read a synopsis online to remember what this was about. But I did read this. I promise I read this. So yeah, she gets unalived, and then she goes on this like, she's a bit of a psychopath. She likes to unalive a lot of people that did her wrong. Our MMC is a vampire guy who is tracking her down and trying to catch her because she's unaliving too many people, and he like kind of works for the police. They kind of end up getting together, and the smut in here is incredible. The spice level is, oh, just, he's obsessed with her. She doesn't want him around. She's kind of sick and tired of him. He's all like, yeah, you're mine. I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to help you kind of like get revenge on the people you want, but you need to be nice about it and not unalive people all the time. But yeah, as a palate cleanser fantasy, absolutely devoured it. There is a second book called All Your Bloody Truths. I did not get around to it this month, but I think I will read it as my palate cleanser next month. One of my TBR jar prompts from last month was to read a book that I should have read by now, and I did pick Metal Slinger in lieu of the second book coming out. 5 stars, absolutely devoured it. It was worth the hype. The TikTok girlies that kept recommending this, absolutely yes. Loved the twist at the end, did not see it coming whatsoever. I liked how it was set in kind of like the seas, and it was giving summer vibes, so reading it during June was absolutely perfect. It really, you know, set the theme, and it was like on par with like the weather and everything. And I have a special edition Warstone, so this has sat on my shelf for ages. I'm sure if you've already read this, you know what the synopsis is about, so I'm not really gonna dive too much into it. But yeah, 5 stars. Now, Lightwielder came out. This was not part of my TBR list this month. This was more of like a mood read, because I was like, oh yeah, I read the first book and now I get to read the second one really, really quickly. Lightwielder. She was good. She was good. But she was not as outstanding as this. It's like an okay sequel, but I gave it 4 stars. But that's because Messer, I love Messer so much. He really saved this book for me. Like, really, really saved it. Yeah, and I do have a sprayed edge edition of it from Waterstones. However, I did read this outside because we've been having some heat wave weather, and I accidentally left it in the sun, so my book is all like now bubbly and stuff. I'm not intending to sell this any point soon, so I'm glad I have the 2 matching books together now. They're so cute. I love them. They're just sitting on my shelf like this. They just sit on my shelf like this. Again, I have a review posted on my Instagram stories. I actually made it into a little highlight, so if you'd like to check that out, then please do. You're still so beautiful when you lie. I love that quote. I love that quote from the first book, and the quote in the context of where it is in the book actually did make me gasp a little bit. Lightwielder was good, but not as great as the first one. I am currently reading, because we're still within June at the moment, I still have about a week left at the time of me filming this. I am currently reading and tabbing Golden Sun. I'm not that far ahead of it, but I can already tell you that this is going to be a 5-star read for me this month. I honestly don't know what's going to happen, but from the first 20% that I'm of, like, I've cried so much over this already. And yeah, I had to tab so many things. This is my first annotated book, by the way. I've never really annotated a book before, and I'm giving it a go, especially with Piers Brown's Red Rising saga. I think I'm going to do that for the rest of the series. Remember the quotes, and I'll be able to look back on them and see what I actually really, really enjoyed. With my ADHD brain, it actually helps me remember content of the book a little bit more, rather than just reading it, leaving a review, and then forgetting everything about it like 10 minutes later. But yeah, I'm still going to include this in my June wrap up because we are still in June, but I haven't finished reading it yet. But yeah, Golden Sun, so excited, and I will probably pick up, is it Morningstar next one? For next month. I think my lowest rated book this month was literally Lightwielder, about 4 stars. No, I lie. I had no 3-star reads this month so far, which has been incredible. A book has to really make me gasp or make me cry in order for it to be 5 stars. So getting like a 4-star review on my terms is really good. It means I really, really enjoyed the book, but it never gave me that emotional wow, if that makes sense. So a book really has to make me cry and think about it for the next like 15 days in order for it to be a 5-star read. But yeah, we are going to be choosing my July TBR from my TBR jar. Actually, you know what? Psych, we're not doing that. I have already picked my reads for July. I would have loved to do another TBR jar picks. However, I have too many unfinished series. I'm constantly picking up book 1 of a series and never actually finishing a series that's already sort of completed. Like take Pierce Brown's Red Rising Saga. I want to be able to get up to date with it as soon as I can. So I'm only allowing myself one first book in the series this month, which is Rose and Chains, and that's because I already started tabbing it. Again, another book that I'm going to be annotating. I think that I'm going to do annotations in my paperbacks for the foreseeable future because I think it's so much fun. Like, I paid for the book and I'm going to have fun with it. Rose and Chains is going to be my one and only book 1 in the series this month. And then for the rest of my month, I am going to be finishing series that I have physical books of and preparing myself for the Sarah J Maas release in November. Absolutely, like, please do not come for me for this. But I still haven't read A Court of Silver Flames. So, my friend has read this book and he actually borrowed my copy. I actually have not read this yet. I will be finishing this month so I can be caught up with the Sarah J Maas universe. Oh, and you thought that was the only book I haven't read? A House of Flame and Shadow is also another book that I haven't finished by Sarah J Maas. Or the series. We're not really counting a Throne of Glass series because I am only up to A Queen of Shadows there. I don't have the physical books of it, so I'm reading everything on my Kindle. ACOTAR and Crescent City series need to be finished because they've just been sitting there and my friend is getting on at me for not finishing them quick enough. We are finishing 2 series this month and hopefully I will feel a little bit more complete and accomplished because I haven't felt complete and accomplished in a while. And plus, I get to read 2 Sarah J Maas books that I have not read ever for the first time. And I'm super, super excited about it. The other series I am hoping, praying to finish this month is the Cruel Prince series. I have read the first book. Really enjoyed the first book. The first book reads like a fairy tale and it was just magical. I was transported into another world. But I did get the trilogy in a box set from the works. So I've got the other 2 books to read. They're not that thick, so I'm hoping I will get through these like pretty quickly. I am aware that there are books before this trilogy and books after this trilogy. However, I do not have the time for them. I am only just going to read the main course and then save the dessert and the canapes for another time, maybe if I really want to return to this world. I don't know how the next 2 books after this trilogy actually impact the story. I feel like I need to research that. Because I just picked up these books because I saw them and they were like a really good price in the works. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to read these. And I am. Hopefully 3 series finish this month. Oh, and not to mention, I will probably go out of my way and try to get more Pierce Brown books to really fly through the series and have it complete before book 7 comes out. I know I have all the time in the world, but I'm in the mood to just sit and binge a few series and finish them off so my TBR shelf, that one, is a little lighter. But not to mention, I am going to 2 gigs this month and I've got social events too, so we'll see how much I will actually get through. Because last month I gave myself 4 books to read through my TBR prompts. Now when I did my TBR jar picks, my June reads last month, I did pick 2 books that I never ended up reaching for or reading, even though I had downloaded them on my Kindle to see if I'd read them over download festival period. One of the books was Tower of the Tyrant, a non-romance pick for the month, but I just like, I don't like to put myself under a lot of pressure to read books that I've picked just because I've done social media content around it. I was not in the mood at all for like a high fantasy or a fantasy book, so I just, yeah. It was never picked up. Move it back into the pile of unread books and see if my TBR jar will pick it again at some point in the future. Yeah, don't put too much pressure on yourself to follow what a TBR jar says or what your spreadsheet says. Tower of the Tyrant, I will come back to you, I promise. Maybe you're more of an autumn read, but not just now. And then one of my other TBR jar prompts was my last Kindle download, which was A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain, which was another like smut centered book, I think. I did start reading it. I was 3% of the way through it, but I think I got distracted and I never read it, so I might actually pick that up this month as like another palette cleanser read, because as much as I love fantasy and lore heavy books, I just need something that's easy with a lot of character love and exercise, if you know what I mean. Oh my god, there's people outside of my window. Please, I hope they're not listening to me make this YouTube video right now. That would be so hilarious. Why is content creation sometimes so cringy? Picks for July. Please let me know down in the comments what you're reading this month. I'll be so interested to know, and I love to discuss anything books. Yes, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of my bookish and my Genshin Impact content. And I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!